US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will not attend Thursday's peace talks in Istanbul between Moscow and Kiev, the first direct negotiations in 3 years. Despite proposing the talks without preconditions, Putin will send a delegation of seasoned officials, including advisor Vladimir Medinsky and Deputy Defense Minister Alexander Fomin. Medinsky, a staunch nationalist involved in earlier talks, will lead Russia's team alongside Deputy Foreign Minister Mikhail Galuzin, Fomin and GRU intelligence chief Igor Kostyukov. Key Russian figures like Lavrov and Ushakov were notably excluded. After Russia confirmed its team, the US announced Trump would not attend, either reversing earlier hints. Putin's absence, along with Trump's, has tempered hopes for meaningful progress in ending the conflict that started in February 2022. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who had challenged Putin to meet him face-to-face, said Putin's no-show signals a lack of commitment to peace. Earlier, the Kiev leader has said he would take part in the negotiations only if Putin was there. Trump is pushing for a 30-day ceasefire, an idea Zelensky supports immediately, while Putin prefers preliminary talks first. Trump, frustrated by delays, has warned of possible secondary sanctions against Moscow. Now, the US delegation to Turkey included Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Senior Envoy Steve Witkoff and Keith Kellogg. Rubio met with Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiga on Wednesday on the sidelines of a NATO foreign ministers meeting in Antalya, Turkey. Sybiga said he explained Zelensky's vision of further peace efforts during this critical week. All right, Akshay Dongre has more information on this. He is joining us live from New Delhi. Akshay, Russia-Ukraine to hold peace talks in Turkey's Istanbul, but Putin will not be present directly. You think Putin's absence, along with Trump's, has tempered hopes for a meaningful progress in ending the conflict?
Well, it seems unlikely even at this point, Abhishek, because sort of commitment that is required from both the sides is still not visible when it comes to the ground action. However, the decision that has been taken by Vladimir Putin to not attend the peace summit after there were hints that he will be going and there will be some sort of pressure that Russia would be in after Donald Trump has repeatedly called on the two countries to end the conflict. But it seems that instead of Vladimir Putin, Vladimir Medinsky, who is the presidential aide, will be going along with the military intelligence chief, the deputy defense minister, the deputy foreign minister as well. So what we are seeing is that no leader from a very high ranking in the government. For example, the other leaders such as the defense minister or the foreign minister or other senior dignitaries are going. Their deputies are going. So it either can be a very deliberate action that is being taken by Russia to also look down upon Ukraine. This can be used as a tactic that if Volodymyr Zelensky is coming, then Vladimir Putin wants to show that he doesn't want to go and directly interact with him, because there have been repeated provocations from Zelensky as well, where he has been calling on Putin to come and meet and face him, talk to him face to face. But it seems that a lot of politics is going on as far as Russia and Ukraine is concerned.
Yeah.
When it comes to Istanbul, many reasons are still not known out that what is the reason. But seeing all of this, it appears that there are still a lot of loopholes that remain as far as a meaningful conversation is concerned and a meaningful dialogue to end the conflict, which has already dragged on for far too long, has resulted in a lot of devastation for the region as well as economic catastrophe for both the countries. But it seems that Russia has had an upper hand for a very long time as far as this conflict is concerned, especially the US and the Western powers being more and more involved in Gaza and Gaza conflict that has been also going on. So what it seems is that there will be talks, there will be some kind of pressure once again mounted, but will it result in end of the conflict? That is highly doubtful.
Yes,
now.
First direct talks in more than 3 years of conflict, but something should come out of this meeting since Russia was the first one to push for these talks. But for the benefit of viewers, Akshay, what are both sides' demands to end the conflict, and also what's happening on the battlefield?
Well, the demands are quite clear. Ukraine has been saying that its territory should be returned. Now that includes the regions such as Donetsk, Donbass, Crimea as well. That was annexed by Russia after a couple of years back, at least about in about 2013. When the conflict escalated between the two countries, we have seen that how Crimea had become a flashpoint. Then, now the military action was a direct result of the attempts by Ukraine to join NATO. The demands of Ukraine is clear. They're demanding Crimea. They're demanding all the regions that have been annexed by occupied by Russia after the conflict started. Besides that, they also are seeking for some assurances from Russia that its sovereignty will be protected, whereas the Russian side has been also very clear. They are calling for these only regions like Donetsk and Donbass that are Russian speaking. There were popular sentiments in the people of Donetsk, Donbass, and in these regions that they want to go back to Russia. Russia is also claiming legitimacy over Crimea, world acceptance over Donbass and Donetsk, along with Crimea. They're also making demand that Ukraine should never be a part of NATO, and the Western military alliances should not move further east. So all of these are the demands that have been raised by both the sides, with especially Crimea, Donetsk, Donbass, all of these regions becoming a flashpoint. And until and unless there is an understanding made over these regions that are at this point occupied by Russia, there seems to be less chances of a breakthrough in the peace talks.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest on that story.